Hello, everyone. It's cold outside, so I'm inside. Yes, we're having another cold spell. And so I've been very good this year. I've got my cold crops out there, which you didn't get to see in the last video. I was going to make the whole video again. It is what it is, right? I'll be out there again, and then I'll try to, I say I can't see it from the back. If you guys can actually see it in the videos, who cares? Anyway, uh, I'm so lazy these days. Ugh, it's almost too good to be true to be so lazy. So my brother-in-law came up yesterday, and he needed me to sign something, and ID was needed, no doubt. And I'm going, well, my driver's license has expired a long time ago. I never went and got an ID yet, which I need to, which we're supposedly doing today. And my passport is running out today. So when he got here yesterday, I'm going to say, I don't think I have a valid ID at all anymore. And looked at the passport. I thought it had expired in February. And it turns out it expires today. Wow. And he wasn't even really planning to come here. He just happened to be about an hour and a half away somewhere else. It takes about 3 hours to drive here from our farm. And he decided, I'm just going to go and get this done. All he needed was just a title notarized and me signing it off. And it was one of those things again, where to say, wow, the last day where my passport is still good, right? Yes. Turns out didn't need it. My expired driver's license was perfectly fine for that. So, but again, what if it wouldn't have been? You know what? And the thing is, if everything would have been expired, you want to bet there would have been a problem? Oh, anyway, all this interesting stuff going on. I found that when we become more and more spiritually engaged, as happened to me so many, many, many years ago, and I've talked about that in my other videos. As a child, I didn't know that certain experiences that I had, others didn't. Until I got to a certain age where I realized, wow, something is really different about my life when it comes to physical life and spirit life. And I went with that. But there wasn't anybody that I had around me that was explaining to me on what was going on. My mom was amazing. She had a most amazing prayer life. Her faith was, I really do feel very, very deep rooted in our brother Jesus. And she accepted kind of from the way I was. My mom, excuse me, all the coffee I drank this morning, right? She had her own experiences, but what I found is, and I found that with my mom as well, even though the signs were all there, they're not all coincidences. They're guided by spirit world due to the fact that we build a foundation, yes, of faith. And then things just happen. They can happen then, yes? But even in my mom's case, and as I said, with many people, in many people's cases, they're getting all the messages. They're getting all the clues. They're getting all the signs. Yet it's just a momentary thing for them. It happened yesterday, and then today it's forgotten. By tomorrow, whoa, did it really happen? Yes? And I found that with my mom as well. So even though when it came to teaching me, she didn't really know how either, right? So I was accepted for whoever I was with my spiritual outlook often with things that I perceived and would address, and then basically was told, well, you better not say that out loud. As my life went on and I went kind of with the flow of also being guided by spirit world, I found amazing people who did teach me. Yes. And then I was able to connect to spirit world in a way then where all the teachings given, the understanding given, then I could digest properly to then give as well. It to the people on earth or the spirits in spirit world, people in spirit world. Yes? Yeah. It's a step-by-step kind of thing. Yes? And the one thing that I found is that the more one reading the Bible, sometimes I have to take a little bit of a step back just because it gets tiresome. Yes? It shouldn't, being honest about it, right? Yes, it's a lot of work. People think, oh, you do spiritual work, so what? It's not like you're physically running around. Yeah, but you're spiritually running around. That can really wear and tear on you as well. So sometimes I just need a little bit of a break. Just do my thing. Like the gardening right now, this and that. Yes? Yeah. And clear my mind that way a little bit. Plants give me a lot of energy that gets depleted with spirit work. And one thing I found is that the more you immerse yourself in Scripture, try to understand the way of God's will, Heavenly Parents' will, and ideal for mankind, the more suddenly things around you become chaotic. And I found that if I take a step back, look at the situation, and then say a prayer either for or with who I'm with, either in on earth here or in spirit, and create a more clear atmosphere, it's really amazing on how that works for restoring spirits in particular. So sometimes we feel like we're surrounded by evil suddenly, and we have to fight back or whatever. But that's not how Jesus worked, did he? Yes, that's not how the earth and everything, plus the spirit realms, the universe were created. They were created within a purpose of perfect harmony. Yes? So, to take a step back and then, hey, how about you have someone arguing with you out there, or you suddenly feel this wave of just discontent or sudden darkness coming towards you, say, would you like to say a prayer with me? Oftentimes just saying that, don't even have to say a prayer with them, calms everything down. To acknowledge spirit realms around us in whatever form they come, but with that calming teaching attitude we should have. Yes? And take your stance as well. I do that. Never going to have me agree that abortion is a good thing. Never going to happen. Anyway, or women get to choose to do that. No, you don't. Actually, you don't. Absolutely, you do not. And one thing that seems to be always missing is the men in these women's lives, right? Yes? It's always the woman who's, wait a minute, the men too. If the woman makes that choice, then the man automatically makes that choice. Now, it becomes the choice of two people who are rejecting, abandoning a baby. They created through what exactly? Now it becomes a collective sin. Yes? I'm just saying. How many murderers are actually walking around out there? It's a bit frightening, isn't it? Men and women. That's just the parents. of the unborn, unwanted, abandoned, and destroyed baby? How about the people who support that? How about the people who do it? Wow. Pretty amazing. Anyway, so take your stance. But there again, too, if I were to come across someone who says, well, I'm going to say, would you like to say a prayer before you go and do that? Most likely they're not going to do it after that. Why not? It's just a prayer. Prayers are powerful. Very powerful. And restoring spirits in particular are attracted to prayer. Yes? Well, anyway. So, but once one acknowledges, especially restoring spirits around us, they become a bit frantic and chaotic. Yes, it's a certain type of excitement, but they're restoring. Right? So they carry a lot of baggage around with them. And the people that they're around, most likely a relative, right? Yes, a descendant, shows that. Just saying. Yeah? Okay. All right, let's get going here. 11 minutes. This is a short one, so that's good. We're in the book of Jeremiah 37, a verdict on Zedekiah. Zedekiah, son of Josiah, became king, succeeding Coniah, son of Jehoiakim. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had made him king of Judah. Really? Well, that's interesting. So it wasn't God who made Josiah the king of Judah. It was Nebuchadnezzar. Well, that's interesting. Well, wait a minute. Interesting. Just saying. Mm-hmm. But neither he nor his courtiers nor the people of the country paid any attention to the words Yahweh spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Okay. Zedekiah consults Jeremiah during the respite of 588 BC. They're so clear on that one again. King Zedekiah sent Jehukal, son of Shelemiah, and the priest Zephaniah, son of Maaseiah, to the prophet Jeremiah with this message. Intercede for us with Yahweh our God. Now Jeremiah was still moving freely among the people. You know, that's another thing too. Did you just hear what this says here? God, the Almighty, the one that guides the people, has helped them get out of Egypt. This, and I'm just saying, through what we all have read here. And what are these two doing? Jehukal, King Zedekiah, sent Jehukal, son of Shelemiah, and the priest Zephaniah, son of Maaseiah, to the prophet Jeremiah. Why didn't King Zedekiah not go himself to Jeremiah? I mean, again, we're talking here the Almighty. And what? A king goes ahead and just sends messengers to Jeremiah? And then he wants him to consult with Yahweh? I'm sorry, that's a bit of an insult, isn't it? Why isn't Zedekiah going himself to Jeremiah and says, I need your help. I know you got a good line to Yahweh. Do you know what I'm saying about it? Sends messengers, servants. Deliver a message for me to Jeremiah so he can talk to God. I need an answer for this or that. Arrogant. So arrogant. Yes? Wouldn't you say so? I'd say so. Well, anyway. Jeremiah could have said, let's have a prayer first. See if whatever you want to ask is what you should be asking. Intercede for us with Yahweh our God. Oh, yeah, no. Now Jeremiah was still moving freely among the people. He had not yet been put in prison. Meanwhile, Pharaoh's army was on the move from Egypt, and the Chaldeans besieging Jerusalem had raised the siege when they heard the news. Oh, so it's about consulting Yahweh about war. Oh, wow, yeah, I bet you that went over well. You know what this already tells me? This has nothing to do with God. Then the word of Yahweh came to the prophet Jeremiah as follows. Yahweh, God of Israel, says this: To the king of Judah who sent you to consult me, make this reply. Is Pharaoh's army marching to your aid? It will withdraw to its own country, Egypt. The Chaldeans will return to attack this city. They will capture it and burn it down. Yahweh says this: Do not cheer yourself up by thinking the Chaldeans are leaving us for good. They are not leaving. Even if you cut to pieces the whole Chaldean army now fighting against you until there were only the wounded left, they would stand up again, each man in his tent, to burn the city down. God is telling, I guess, King Zedekiah, you're approaching this from in the wrong way. Hence, I don't know. We'll see, I guess, what happens. But looks to me like, okay. The arrest of Jeremiah, improvement in his treatment. Oh, yeah, so of course after he says that, well, anyway. And also in a way, what does this say? What did I say? Okay, so I can't really dispute this. God says, I know I have nothing to do with them wars you guys are going to have going on. Can't. You got free will. You're not going to listen anyway, so there you go. The arrest of Jeremiah, improvement in his treatment. At the time when the Chaldean army, threatened by the Pharaoh's army, had raised the siege of Jerusalem, Jeremiah set out from Jerusalem for the territory of Benjamin to see about a piece of his property among the people there. We already know about that. Now that's coming up again. How could he own anything? He's a prophet, which makes him a Levite, doesn't it? They can't own anything. They don't inherit anything. All right. He was at the Benjamin gate when the guard commander there, a certain Uriah, son of Shelemiah, son of Hananiah, arrested the prophet Jeremiah, shouting, "You are deserting to the Chaldeans." Jeremiah answered, "It is a lie. I am not deserting to the Chaldeans." But I didn't know exactly what they said, too. That's just, yeah, okay. But Uriah would not listen to Jeremiah and took him under arrest to the chief men. And the chief men, furious with Jeremiah, had been beaten and shut up in the house of the scribe Jonathan, which had been turned into a prison. Why were they so upset with him? Oh, because of what he said over here? Well, it doesn't say that. Thus Jeremiah found himself in an underground vault, and there for a long time he stayed. They're so clear about everything else, certain other things, but here, why were they? And the chief men furious with Jeremiah, what were they furious about? How can one man just go on over to the Chaldeans and then do what? Okay, you know what? Later, King Zedekiah had him sent for, and the king questioned him privately in his palace. Is there any word from Yahweh? But then they want to still know what God has to say. I'm sorry, people. This is just like a really, really badly written story here. He asked, "There is," Jeremiah answered, and added, "You will be handed over to the king of Babylon." There, you got it. Jeremiah then said to King Zedekiah, "What wrong have I done you, or your courtiers, or this people, for you to have put me in prison?" Because he's not saying what they want to hear, obviously. "Where are your prophets now who prophesied? The king of Babylon will not attack you or this country. So now I beg you to hear me, my lord king. Oh, I beg you to approve my request. Do not have me taken back to the house of the scribe Jonathan, or I shall die there." Ooh, was he mistreated at the scribe Jonathan's house? King Zedekiah then gave an order, and Jeremiah was confined in the court of the guard and given a loaf of bread a day from the street of the bakers. Oh, they starved him then at Jonathan's. As long as there was bread left in the city. So Jeremiah stayed in the court of the guard. That's the end of 37. Interesting. Okay. Also, it sounds to me like Jeremiah kind of wanted to go into kind of hiding or just retreat to his place here. And that didn't work out well, obviously. I don't know. So that is that. Oh, so I enjoy watching all kinds of shows from all kinds of countries. Watched a German one recently. It was so funny to hear people speaking in German. But it was pretty good. Can't remember now what was it? It was about some kind of a disaster. Anyway, I like disaster movies. I just like to see what they're doing and how they're going to save the world, right? Yes? Okay. Uh, and how they portray the people, right? Yes? You always have the two sides, the kind ones, the helping ones, who are trying to save as many as they can, come up with good solutions, this and that, and then the ones that are always destructive and want to steal everything, and right? Yes? Oh, we know how that works, right? Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, uh, but I've been watching some short dramas, and some of them are pretty good. They're very repetitive, you know. You've seen three, you've seen them all, kind of thing. But I came across one, and I'm going, man, these people are looking weird. That's really weird. There must be a lot of filters on them or something, right? And they were acting weird, and they were standing weird, and I was like, what? But the storyline was kind of okay. And my granddaughter walks in, and she looks, she says, Grossy, those are AIs. And I'm going, what? Yeah, these are not real people. They're AIs. So the whole thing was made up with AIs, but they look like real people, you know, dressed up proper. And I'm going, yes, you know what? That makes sense. You know how? I said, I didn't even know they did that, right? I had no idea, right? And the one thing that gives it away is there's no emotion. That was how can actors be so emotionless? And their eyes there's nothing there. It's literally, there's nothing there. It's just black pupils. That's it. And after my granddaughter told me, I paid better attention just to the one. I haven't watched one since because I can't take it now. Now I know. I can't take it. It's too weird. It's the there is something just missing in those short stories when it comes to the acting, to give meaning to the story, to for the story to come through as entertainment then as well, right? Oh, it was odd to watch. Um, and I can't see that people would actually go for that. But then if people do, what does that mean? Yes. One thing I noticed is that's the first thing I noticed was the eyes when that one that I watched. I'm going, man, what's wrong with that? The people's eyes. There's something not right, right? Yes. How can you look like that? There's nothing there. It is when you look at someone and you look into their eyes, you do reach farther than just the pupils. Our eyes, looking at someone else's eyes, we reach farther into a person's psyche, mind, heart, soul. So I find it interesting that AIs actually are proving that in human beings the soul exists, because an AI doesn't have one, and one can see it through their eyes. There's nothing there. Isn't that something? God works in mysterious ways. Keep making them, just keep inventing this stuff, and more people will realize, oh wow, the ones that can't see the difference between physical and spiritual life, and the unity between physical and spiritual life, eventually will be taught through something like that. AIs. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, that's all I have to share this morning. May Heavenly Parent bless and protect you, guide you, and embrace you with love. And I will talk to you all another time. Eldridge, my dearest brother in faith. I hope you found me again. Yes? Okay. On the YouTube channel. Let's keep praying. That prayer book's important. Yes? Yeah. Bye, everyone.